Oh shoot! Oh, I don't have the countdown on this one. Okay, so it's just gonna go live.
It's,
Good morning. How y'all feeling out there? What's up? What's up? It's early in the morning. We got to get us a song or something.
oh, we need a
Get us
song.
some intro. Get us some intro music. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me excited.
I gotta. So the thing about going live is when you live on Instagram, it doesn't go live automatically. So I gotta go hit all the buttons. Good morning, everybody out there. Welcome. This is the 30 Day Show. We are back, and I'm back with a new co-host. And shout out to and welcome to Kia Ross, my good girlfriend. How you doing this morning?
Hey. I'm good, beautiful. How are you this morning?
I'm rocking and rolling. I said I was gonna change that to I'm moving and grooving, but no, rocking and rolling. I'm in the, when they say how you doing, I'm like I'm rocking and rolling. That just does something for me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm shaking and baking them.
Okay, see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love a good shake and bake. We need that. We need that.
Yeah.
So you are watching. If you're tuning in to us for the first time, the 30 Day Show. The 30 Day Show is something that I came up with, and I was doing it on my platforms only at first to sort of like test it out. You see a lot of viral videos out there about what to do with your content. Do this with your content. Do that with your content. You need to post 15,000 pieces of content a day. And it's like, bruh, seriously, first of all, time out. Because when am I going to run a business, take care of kids, cook some food, eat food, be a human, not turn into a werewolf, and post 15,000 pieces of content a day?
Wait. Where did the werewolf go?
I'm just saying, because that's what you be feeling like. You know what I'm saying? You try to manage all these things at one time. You try to figure it out. How do you do that? It's just not realistic, and it's just not possible. Also, I got a note on that though. I'm gonna tell you how they're doing it. They're paying for it, but I decided to launch the 30 Day Show because I saw some piece of content that was like, just go live, take the clips, clip it up, post the clips, and I was like, oh, bet. So I've been very transparent about this. I even did a post is on at Omi Bell on Instagram about like the things that I learned from running the first 30 Day Show. And the first 30 Day live show, we went live every day for 30 full days. This time we're doing weekdays, okay? Because I learned a few lessons. So we're gonna do weekdays. Shout out to everybody that signed up. One of the things about this show is not gatekeeping the interview seat. You know, a lot of times, like you see all these shows and they want to control like who's on it, who gets to speak, who's an expert. I mean, I love Kevin Hart and I love all these people out here, but I swear I can't hear, and I don't know what else they could tell me. I've seen them on so many interviews, and it's just like I've seen your point of view from every angle. We didn't lift up the leg of the point of view. We didn't stretch the arm out of the point of view. We didn't put the tongue up of the point. Like we didn't see every angle of the point of view from these folks. And it's just like, I'm tired. Somebody else out there got to be thinking like I'm thinking, and also got to be tired of hearing the same point of views from people over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So I said, bump that. Let's throw the link out. Let's let anybody out there that sees the link sign up to be interviewed. Majority of these people have businesses. And so you're going to hear about some businesses near you that you might not have heard of before. And it is just people that were just in our network, which I love. And so we're going to be surprised every day. Every time somebody pop up, we're going to be surprised. We're not going to know, we get a little bit of information, but we're just going to roll with whatever. Matter of fact, the woman that we was going to have on at 6, she was in her car, late to work. You know what I'm saying? She going to be back though. We just told her, hey girl, get settled in at work and come back because we care about your safety. We do not want you out there driving and trying to interview on a 30 Day Show. It's fine. Come back. So we do safety first. We do care about that. And then what we'll do is we'll take the clip. So if you do miss the live show, you can see the full replay at Black Girl Ventures on YouTube. I think I have my Omi Bell one too. So at the Omi Show on YouTube, you can see the live replay. We'll also have clips going out. We're live right now on LinkedIn. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on 2 Instagrams, 2 Facebooks, and 2 YouTubes. You know what I'm saying? Because we can do that.
Listen, you doing it. Listen, I'm over here throwing stuff. Okay. I am, because I have to. On
You
me?
know what's funny? Okay, I am so glad. So Takia is a makeup extraordinaire business owner. She has her own line, makeup expert for years, also teaches business at Micah, right? In Baltimore.
Yes. Yep.
And I was like, is Takia gonna get on here with his full face of makeup? Because I can't.
Well, every now and again, see, I'm gonna mix it up. I need them to know that I'm gonna be different every time. They don't know who they're gonna get.
I was like, it's 6 a.m. over here. I'm on the West Coast. I can't get up and put in no good full face of makeup at 5. I don't got it. It's not.
But you know what though, Omi? The thing about it is most of us don't have it. I'm trying most of us do not have it. And the person that you see when I'm fully dressed, fully made up, and I have my war paint on, you know what I mean? I got my armor on, all of that. It's not the person that wakes up every morning and takes her son to school, and laughs with her kids. And it's absolutely not the woman that I am as I'm pushing 50. It's just kind of like now, baby, you gonna get this bare face, moles. I'm gonna be
Period.
baldy eyed with some lip balm. That's what you're gonna get. And
That's
that's
it.
what I got.
That's
That's what
it.
I
And I ain't even get to
got.
clean my glasses before I sat down. So I
Yes.
can barely see. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I am I'm like, that's what we doing. I got on some moisturizer, you know what I'm saying? All that. I showered today, and that's a celebration.
It is. And
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you should be
we need to get
rewarded.
into the real of how this really be working. Like, I think, like, I'm so tired of the glitz and the glamour and the perfect profiles and all the people acting like every day they be having the shit together. Every day I don't be having the shit together. Yes. Am I running a multi-million-dollar nonprofit with 14 plus employees and efforts across the country? Yes, I am. But every day I don't be having it together.
But my thing is, or do you have it together? It's just that you do not that we realize now that I don't have to always be made up so that it looks like it's almost like I'm making other people comfortable with me having it together because I have to look like I have it together. But in reality, you do have it together. You have
No,
it
that's real.
absolutely together. And most of us do. We have it together, but it's just kind of like what I don't have together is putting on lashes every day. What I don't have together is making sure I have a suit on every day. What I don't have to, that's what I don't have together. So, and I'm okay with it at this point. Like, I think you grow to that place where you're just okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
I think you're 1,000% correct because I think that one, I know how I look. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm doing it because I feel good in it, because I will say that, when you put some clothes on. The one thing now I put on some. This is the thing that people don't really know about me, but when I go live, I still put on body spray. I don't like nobody can smell me, but it's not the point. You know what I'm saying? It's because
Yes.
this is me and how I feel about it. Get a good shower and good moisturizer, and then body spray it. Because I just feel like it's important to always smell good, no matter if anybody can smell you. That's integral smelling. You know what I'm saying? That's the integrity. That's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, that's
and that's sometimes that's the best I got is to smell good. The best I got that day is to smell good. You see what I'm saying?
Listen. You ain't nothing wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But also, Omi, how many other things do we have to do throughout the day? How many other roles do we have to play throughout the day that requires a different you to show up? So this morning when you getting your kids ready for school and you momming, you doing that role. Then I got a boss in my role, but then I also need to clean up. I got to clean the car out, but I got to make market. Oh my goodness, I did. But hold on, got to make market. But then I got to send out all these emails and respond to everybody. So it's just like we're maneuvering through roles. And I found that sometimes it doesn't require me to have on eyebrows.
No. Seriously, never. So the other day I went I had like so I'm in these dating streets, okay? Like I'm out
Oh,
here, I'm trying to find my person. And child, I feel like when we started the Sirius XM show, that was 2021. I was in the streets then. Ain't nothing changed. So I'm out here. So right, everything we said plus trying to have a date. Okay. And then try to act like somebody. So we was getting some, I don't know, getting some food or somebody. He's like, would you, do you want this? You don't want this? And I just kind of looked at him like, it was after a long day. He was like, do you want me to just decide for you? And I said, yes, please.
yes.
Something like, I don't care if we eat fries or Brussels sprouts, child. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna eat it.
I'm hungry. Can somebody make a decision for me? That's all I'm saying. I don't care if we get the rice or the broccoli. Can you just tell them what I want? Just somehow mind read it. Just make a decision.
But that is really key, because I think a lot of women in business, in corporate, in life are really suffering from decision fatigue, and you really just need the people around you to decide on something, and it's like, even with your team, like I tell mine all the time, just decide. Like, you can, like, if we make a mistake, okay, we'll fix the mistake, but like decide on something, like, make a decision with the best information you have, with the best interest of our team and our customers at heart. We're going to be okay. But I think what happens is, like, and maybe it's something, I'm going to take it, maybe it's something I did. Like, maybe I look like I enjoyed making every decision all the time, right? Maybe it's just kind of like, ooh, she makes great decisions. But I think a lot of times what we're seeing now is a lot of women, especially, I'm not a man, so I'm not going to speak directly to that, but where it's just like, I'm tired of making decisions. Somebody decide on some part of this, and I'll pick up the rest. Like, if you say Brussels sprouts, no problem. You know what I'm saying? I sprinkle a little bacon on it. Saute.
I'm good.
I'm good with that. We're fine. But I think that's too. But I also think it's because a lot of us, especially in our demographic, are going through our second puberty. I said it.
Like, are you talking about menopause or perimenopause?
Oh, yes. It's the second puberty. I said what I said. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And I think that there hasn't been, over the course of time, enough credit given to the change that happens to women that doesn't happen to men, right? And this is not like a man versus women thing. It's just like a collaboration relationship thing, right?
Yeah.
I think about this at work. So what you touched on, I want to tap into for a second about operations. What I'm actually going to be launching a cohort soon. So everybody stay tuned for the drop date. It's going to be called Smooth Operator. Because what I realize is that people need operations help at levels that I didn't realize. Like, I just been doing this thing, and as I had been taking on some coaching clients, and I was coaching with them, and they were like, "Yeah, but can you tell me how you're doing what you're doing?" So I'm like, I'm giving like high level general, and I'm like, "Oh, you need what time does your team work? How do you do reporting? What's your meeting schedule?
Yeah.
What's your SOPs? What's your how do you instruct your EA? How do you give that decision making to your team to engage in? I'm like, oh, you need me to go there. I was like, and I realized, oh my God, so many people need that, because there's this idea that you're just going to figure operations out.
Or that you're in business and that you just know. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's just that you just know. And it's like, I don't need you to do it for me. Give me a starting point. Like, if you give me, because your SOP may not work for mine, but if you give me the starting point, like, this is the starting point of it, then I can say, okay, you know what? This will work differently. And then I know where to start trying. But a lot of it is, where do you even start trying? So I can't wait for you to drop it. I can't wait.
No, that's real. So what I did was I put together my leadership philosophy. I put together SOP templates, job description templates. I put together a weekly, how we do everything, a weekly meeting cadence, an asynchronous template. Because another thing, if you can't meet with people, then have an asynchronous update, right, that people can fill out. I put all that together. I also put together how I meet. So I have strategy meetings at certain times of the month. We have certain meetings that are open in the meeting. You know, like we have these different ways that we meet. And you might not need as many meetings, but we're fully remote. And that's another thing. Like how you manage a fully remote team versus a team you see in person on a regular basis. I think those are two different things. And so sometimes it can be meeting heavy, where it's some things like this could have been an email, but it's like people starting to like understand what that means. And I think culture building versus like operating, I think that's a slight shift too. Like when you get to a certain number of employees, you really got to think about building culture. Even if you managing a certain number of contractors, I don't want people to get stuck on the word employee, right? Because sometimes we go, oh, well, I don't have W-2 employees, I don't have payroll. Well, what that means is you're managing a bunch of people still. You still have a team, and at the same time, you got to even be more careful because now it's some things you can't even be telling them folks to do. And that's another, people skating on thin ice with that too.
Oh yeah, they are.
There's a difference between a contractor and an employee, and you gotta be real careful about that line because you up here like, oh well, they should have did, and I told them to. And there's certain things you can't tell them. There's certain things you can't make them do. Certain things you're not supposed to give them.
Yeah. But I think too it's also in the knowing, right? Because a lot of it is, again, you know, we've talked about it multiple times. A lot of times people think that a lot of people are starting businesses because they want to start a business, right? Like in their mind, I'm going to start a business. And that's not necessarily true, right? A lot of times people are starting business out of necessity, right? So like, I can't find a job, right? This hustle got to work, right? I got children that's small. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford daycare. This hustle got to work. I'm doing something really well. I'm baking, I'm doing makeup. Like that was me. You know, I'm doing this really well. And now all of a sudden that thing take off and you have a business, right? And you're trying to figure out how to navigate this thing that you didn't necessarily plan to do. And so we get into this, well, why didn't you know? How would you not know? And would you know? And it's just kind of like, let's stop pointing the fingers because you don't know what you don't know. I believe people are doing the best that they absolutely can, most people. And so if we can give them, and that's why I'm so excited about this, if we can give them some of this insight so that we can do business better, right? So it's just like, so that way we have less of a delay in us excelling forward or pushing the, you know, or even deciding I don't want to be in business, because that's a whole other thing too. Like you can do all of this and decide like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this a hustle. And that's fine. Like you don't have to turn something that you love doing into a business. You don't.
But here's the thing that happens. Shame. So can we talk about it? Shame, right? I just saw a post from Gary Vee the other day. You know, real entrepreneurs, you know, because everybody, you know, you're a real entrepreneur. And I love Gary Vee, but I'm just saying that, like, I get where he's coming from and trying to empower people and all that. But I think that, like, you know, the idea of you scroll and you see this real entrepreneurs don't give up, real entrepreneurs. And then I see this other post from this also, Abu. Abu is also cool. He's been in the marketing game for a minute. He does content around that. He's also super cool. Well, you know, if you are an owner, you're an operator, because an owner does this and an operator, and it's like so much noise and commentary trying to tell you who you gotta be, how you supposed to be. You ain't supposed to do, oh, you didn't, then you did it. And you gotta really just quiet that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta mute that and be like, what do I really want to do? Who am I really becoming, and where do I really want to go? Because you literally could do whatever you want. And I know that sounds crazy, but like, if you want to keep that business, then okay. If you want to get a job, then okay. If you want, like, don't let nobody, like, permission to shift without shame. That is where that is the message that people need. Shifting without shame right now, because there's so much of it. And let's keep it 100, because none of these posts are, in my opinion, looking at the market, looking at the sign of the times, looking at what we're going through right now. Like, at the end of the day, it is currently equally risky for you to get a job and to start a business in this current climate. With AI doing whatever they're trying to make it do, and they ain't done figuring out what it's about to do yet, and they ain't done figuring out how they're gonna make money off of it. Like, it's still really new. They're still figuring all the stuff out with it. Like, because of that, You might get that job, child, and then they figure it out, and next thing you know, you laid off. You got to start a business anyway. You might start it right now. The idea, and I saw other posts about like, oh, self-employed versus da da da. I was about to say a curse word this early in the morning. F all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, right now you need money in your household. That's what you need. You need money coming into your household. You need to live the life that you want to live at the quality of life that you want to live it. Focus on that by any means necessary. And F all these people telling you what you ain't, what you is, and how it isn't real entrepreneur. Ain't none of us giving you no money. Ain't none of us investing. Even if they are invested, still F them anyway. Because at the end of the day, they gonna want you to keep going. That's what's important to people who are invested. Is for you to keep going, and for you to keep going as a founder. Because in the early stages, we're investing in the founder anyway. So yeah, the risk versus some of these social media commentary ain't making sense to me these days.
Well, I mean, but yes. And I think we've always kind of known that people, and people are not what they post, right? You know, we've known that from the beginning. I think that we have been bombarded, and especially with social media, we're bombarded daily with these narratives that are not necessarily true. I am enjoying now also seeing the other narratives, right? I'm enjoying now watching posts and founders, you know, in their journeys, how they're saying, no, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna put this on hold. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pause, or I'm gonna do something else. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to, you know, and they're really sharing the behind the scenes of what's really happening and really pulling a veil back from all of the secrecy of entrepreneurship, right? That false persona that many of us, and dare I say, and I'll put myself out there, so am I. Like the persona that I'm made up every day, fully dressed, you know, walking around, you know, just out here, is false. It is not, it is not true. You know, the truth about it is most of the time we're human too. We're crying. You know, I'm in holy sweatpants and t-shirts just like you. I'm trying to figure it out, you know, just like everybody else. So I think seeing it more often is really, really powerful, and really finding community. I think that that's really one of the things that we have to do, in a community of truth. Not, you know, not because you can be in community with people that are not telling you the truth, but being in a community of truth where people are really sharing, this is what's really happening. Like this is really what's happening. And I might make it or I might not.
Yeah, I think, and whichever way you will learn. That's what I'm gonna say. Whichever way it goes, you will learn. You know what I mean? And I think like that's what's important. You fell forward every time, and keep it moving. So, all right, news we got out there. Thank y'all for this. Y'all rocking with us. I see we got a bunch of people. Also, if you have comments, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna take a look. I'm trying to take a look at all the comments that I can see. Thank y'all for tuning in. The room is getting packed right now. We are live on. Yes, we're live on Instagram. We're live on 2 Instagrams, 2 YouTubes, LinkedIn, and 2 Facebook pages. If you missed the full show, you can always go to YouTube and look at the live section of at Black Girl Ventures, and you'll be able to go in there and look at the rest of what we've been talking about. So this past weekend, a few things happened. And so we want to get into a little bit of the news. Drake dropped 3 albums. Okay, Drake released Iceman at midnight, then surprised everyone by simultaneously dropping 2 more projects, Maid of Honor and Habibti, and a total of 43 songs across 3 records featuring 21 Savage, Future, Sexy Red, Central C, and more folks. Now here's the thing: on the date of the drop, Drake became Spotify's most streamed artist for 2026. Also, the first ever to take up the entire top 30 of Apple Music. The entire top 30 is Drake. All Drake songs. Wow. That's wild.
That is.
Now, there's more than what meets the eye to this, and that's the reason why I bring it up, because y'all probably like, what did Drake album got to do with me? One, we needed some summer hits, okay? So if we being honest, Kendrick kind of killed the mood, you know what I'm saying? Vibe killer, killed the mood for our summer. But now hopefully we back. But what's significant about this is the case beneath it all. He dropped these 3 albums as a way to get out of his deal and get back to the negotiation table on whether or not he will sign a new deal. And there's billions of dollars on the table. It has been said allegedly that the Kendrick Lamar situation was also a part of like a larger plot from UMG, Universal Music Group, to bring down Drake's price of bargaining to get out for a new contract. And now that what's back at the table is that he has put himself into such a position to say, okay, I owed y'all 3 albums. All right, boom, here's all 3 albums at once. This is a huge test of his star power. And we've seen these kind of things attempt to be tested through like Prince and Michael Jackson and things like that, like try to figure ways to position themselves. And I think it's an interesting case study. I would say like there's a bunch of breakdowns about this online. So I'll let y'all go read more about that in other places. But the real thing I wanted to bring into view about that is positioning. And I think that like as business owners, you really got to be thinking about your positioning and what that means for what you're trying to negotiate. And this is positioning among higher powers for bigger deals. But if you think about, people want to get brand deals. They want to get opportunities to teach at colleges. So I want you to be thinking about how you are positioning yourself in your market, right? What type of things do you show up to? Sometimes you pay for access because you're getting close to, you're gaining proximity to power to be able to see you in certain ways. Waiting for somebody to see you. You don't have to do that. You can do that if you want. You could be like, oh, I'm going to wait for them to find me over here. You can do that. No harm, no foul. And know that the game is rigged and you can play a game with it. You can figure ways to position yourself. You can pay for proximity. You can get into different communities. You can show up at certain events. You can take people up on there when they say from the stage, contact me, contact them. So many times people say on the stage, they've been on a panel or whatever. And I'm willing to help any founders. People don't contact them. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes, to be honest, the people who are the least ready contact them.
Yeah. I think too, Omi, I think one of the things, because I don't have an opinion either way about Drake. I don't listen to his music or that, that's not my genre of music. But what I will say, my thing is he had time to position himself. And that's something a lot of times, if we think about it in business and in our founder situation, right, is time. So Drake took a lot of time off. Like he took some time off to kind of sit and figure out what his positioning could be, where he could go, and that sort of thing. And a lot of times as we think about positioning in business, it's also about giving yourself enough time to run through the scenarios about where you want to position yourself in the long term, right? Not where I want to sit today. It's about, okay, where do I want to sit in 10 years? Where do I want to sit in 15 years? And I think that sometimes that may not be afforded, not afforded. Mm-hmm. It is like not afforded to a lot of the founders that we're speaking to, or that might be listening, or me or you, that sort of thing. But also we don't give it to ourselves. Like, it's almost like we think that we just gotta, just keep moving, keep going. And it's like, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the best thing to do is to stop and really take a look at the landscape and figure out where you want to be and figure out the best path forward in that direction.
100%. And that's a perfect segue into our guest for today, Marie Rose. She's a business strategist, speaker, and founder, building community through purpose. She has developed a 26,000 square foot of business development space. It's a center in Philadelphia. Upcoming, she has Plates with a Purpose, an intentional networking dinner, bringing business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders together for powerful conversations, meaningful connections, and strategic collaboration over dinner. It's coming up this week, actually. It's going to be May 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. at Rosebud Studios. I want to bring her up so we can hear a little bit more about how she thinks about strategy and this upcoming event she has.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Marie. Welcome.
Great morning, great morning. How are you both?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I am good.
So Rosebud Studios. Let take me back a minute now. You could be doing anything in the world. You could be sailing the seven seas. You could be climbing the highest mountains. You could be, you could be doing whatever. Why decide to launch Rosebud Studios? What was your inspiration behind it?
Rosebud Studios was launched out of COVID because as a mother, I needed to get my hair and nails and stuff done, but I didn't want nobody in my house and putting my kids at risk. And I felt like these business owners were doing the same to themselves. So what's the difference between creating a community space that we know is clean and safe and be able to put everything in one place so that mothers could get their massage, their hair, and their nails done in one location? So I created those studio spaces so that moms like me that was dealing with virtual classes and needed to be able to get out, but get out quick all at once. So go into a place, have your kids in the waiting room if needed, but you able to get all your services done and take care of yourself here in a safe place without putting your house and your safety at risk. From that, the Rose brand is created out of my mother's legacy. My mother passed on Christmas Eve, 10 days after I gave birth to my son. So I have built my legacy, her legacy, turning my pain into passion. So that's where the rose comes from originally. And then my mother was always helping people. She was in cosmetology. So I think it was ingrained in me. So the thought of making things accommodating for other mothers like myself and encouraging business owners to open up their studios when their hours is getting cut at work and they turn into things into hustles anyway. So helping them develop those hustles into profitable businesses. It helped me develop the path as I went on. I honestly did not know where this was going to take me from this 8 office space of telling people, I'm going to provide a space for you to do this hustle, to now helping over 100 businesses, developing over 26,000 square feet, 3 business centers later. That same foundation that I built and I didn't know where it was taking me has helped me create so many opportunities where you have business owners making 6 and 7 figures out of an office space in my building.
So tell me, okay, so help me understand, because I think I'm hearing a few different things. One, congratulations on your success. And like
Thank you.
operating physical space is hard. It's not an easy thing to do. Tell me a little bit. I want to make sure I understand and the audience understands. I hear you saying businesses operating in the space, and then I hear you saying like wellness and businesses in like pampering. I hear you saying intentional dance. So like help me like paint the picture. Is this like is it like a one of those like what is it called? Like salon central type things where there's like different
So
booths, or
yes, so people would love to put us in a category, but the thing is Rosebud Studios has its own. So I was able to take the salon suite piece of it. I was able to take the small business development center piece of it. And now my buildings hold trucking companies, diagnostic labs, hair salons, massage therapists, barbers. I literally have all the businesses within my building.
Right. So the only reason why I'm bringing up Salon Central or Salon Suites piece is not to compare you in a way that like I think you're just like them, but I'm trying to get people to understand the visual of like what it looks like, right? Because you're in front of a lot of people right now who had no idea that this even existed, maybe. And I want to make sure they know exactly where to go, exactly what to contact you for, and exactly what that means if they want to sign up, use space, that kind of thing. So when you think about, there is an echo. I think it's because you have me on speaker. Do you have headphones?
I have headphones in my ear.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it though.
Let me cut it off. Hold on.
Okay, there we go. No. Wait. Stay there. Say something now.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, your headphones were not on.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, that's perfect. So I contact you if I want to do what as a business owner.
If you are a business owner looking for a space to operate your business, you would contact me.
If you're looking for a community to help you build and strategize because your clientele is not building and you don't understand which way to go, you would contact me for business coaching. If you're looking to be around other business owners, and you feel like this is such a lonely industry, which a lot of times business owners feel that way because they're shielding and protecting themselves from what we call competition, you would contact me because I curate events monthly for the person who may not need the space, but they need the community. So I put together tables for people to come together and build and strategize in an intentional, comfortable way. I also have space where it's community. So I'm advertising your business. I have QR codes on all my windows that take you into a directory to advertise every business in all 3 locations. That's free. So people, when they ride past, they scan in the QR code and they know not only what building you scan, but all my buildings are 95% Black-owned businesses. I make sure that if I get connected with a bank, I'm out building contracts, not for myself only, but for all the business owners that I come in contact with, whether it's banks, any type of financial institutions, grants. I share that within my network of Rosebud Studios. Rosebud Studios is not only the people who rent physical space from me, but the people who show up to my events. Because if you show up for yourself, you never know what's in that room or what's going to come out of that room.
For
Virtual
sure.
address service. They may not be able to pay for a space. They may be doing it out of their home, but they still connected and have that virtual address and they're showing up to events. So I'm going to share the resources with you because I never know what somebody may need to grow their business. The purpose is that we gatekeep for so many years, or were accused of gatekeeping for so many years. And taking from my plate does not make my plate empty from me. It actually gives me space to put more on to continue to share to my community. And I'm
Absolutely.
changing that perspective for the culture of what entrepreneurship looks like. First of all, we need to stop saying that we are just entrepreneurs and we are CEOs, because the way we operate, the image of what CEO is usually the corporate, the suit. That's what traditionally people see. But we out here running whole businesses, doing marketing, financial strategies, networking, building contracts. Those are qualities of a CEO.
I
But we
love
show up
this.
and we choose lower um, titles for ourselves.
I love this. I love this so much. Like, congratulations. And when you dropped it, you had 3. I love it, baby. She said when in one of my 3 locations. I like it when you do put a little razzle dazzle on there, girl. You put that razzle on there. So I guess my question is: so you are pouring so much into the businesses that are coming in the community that you are serving. What do you need? Like, if you
What do
think
I
about
need?
what I need. Yes, what do you need?
I need more stages to speak on. I need more stages to educate. I need more opportunities to get in front of youth entrepreneurs. I have a nonprofit that also serves the youth, along with my for-profit that serves the adults. I need to speak more on social equity and remind people that the confidence that you get when you walk in the room, that's what's going to get you the contract. The people don't know how much money you got in your pocket. They're not checking your bank account at the door. They seeing how you walk in, how you carry yourself, and how you present your business. Those relationships that you build get you in the places that you need to be. So I want to educate people on the foundation of when they show up as their authentic self and they speak from their passion, that's what's going to get them what they need and where they need to be. Like me showing up today, I showed up to those pitch competitions 3 times, baby. And then when I got that email about this, I was on it too because I'm going to show up intentionally.
Yeah. How big is your team?
Oh, my team is only a team of 4. A
Okay.
team of 4, and 1 is overseas. But that is including my front desk managers that manage my space, and also my administrative. But I have a very good system in place. All of my automations really help me manage my business.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a good. Listen, small but
Um,
mighty team. I'm here
that's what I
for
was
it.
about to say. Mighty team of 4. Listen, when you got a mighty team of 4. So when I think about it, because Omi, you and I were just talking about operations and things like that. And one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs face, especially when they're just starting or when they're kind of putting their self out there, is, you know, those operations, those automations that can make their businesses move more seamlessly. You know, so what would you suggest? Like, what would be, like, if you had to empower somebody right now, these would be the 3 top automations, or these are the 3 top things that I would, you know, empower you to think about or look at as you start to build out your operations?
Yes, I started paying my virtual assistant 6 years ago, $4 an hour. And I gave her a Google Voice number and I gave her access to my email. And I said, I need you to send these scripts out. When someone asks a question, this needs to be your response. Her job was to work while I slept, because in the beginning I didn't have an opportunity to miss a deal. Every customer was a big deal to me. So investing in a VA, a virtual assistant, also having a CRM system. Don't depend on your followers on social media. Being able to track their emails, their phone numbers, being able to get in contact with them outside of social media. And my third thing would be just utilizing your social media, but not for entertainment. It's for intention. Making sure that the platform that you are using is where your actual customer is. And if your customer is the person that you think is just buying your product one time, then that's not where you need to be. You need to be for the people who want to share the information and share you with their network, so that one sale is actually 50.
I love that. You better tell them how it is. She better be out here telling all the people, giving the fire and desire out here.
So coming this week, you have plates with a purpose. Plates and
Yes.
purpose. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. I'm sorry.
Yes, plates with purpose.
Plates with purpose. Okay. Tell us about that. What do you want people to know about it, so we can make sure that the word gets out there? Because I know that's one of the things you mentioned you want to talk about.
Yeah, so Plates with Purpose is a curated dinner where we bring in CEOs to the table. We have people who are just starting. We have people at 7 figures. There's no ego when you come in here. It's going to be curated conversation, and everybody's going to come to the table with a problem and a solution. Because you may just be starting, but your connection that you can't use, somebody else may be missing. It's going to be an intimate environment, limited ticket, but it's purposely for people to come together and talk normally. At this table, I'm just Marie Rose, and what you need.
Do you have it? Do we go to Rosebud Philly? Do they go to Rosebud Philly to RSVP?
Yes, rosebudphilly.com to purchase their ticket. It's this Friday. Again, it's in North Philly near Temple area. That's where our largest location is. We have a 4,000 square foot event space in that location. But we are doing an intimate, curated dinner. We'll have music and great vibes.
Nice.
I love that.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Anything you want to lead the people with before you roll out?
Yes, even if you don't connect with me, just remember, like I said, they don't care about what's in your pocket. They don't know that first. They know how you walk in and how you show up. And you only get that one time sometimes to prove who you are. So utilize that one time and don't take it for granted. I appreciate y'all so, so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, beautiful.
Marie Rose, Rosebud Studios. Y'all make sure y'all check her out, rosebudphilly.com. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a great day. That was so good.
Yeah, I love to see people operate in physical space, because it's so hard to operate physical space. Oh my gosh. I mean, listen, you had a physical space.
Listen, the way I be sweating, the way my sweat glands be working overactively.
Yeah, it is. And I think here's the thing. One of the things I was thinking this while I was listening to her is that we need, like, thinking through what a business expert sounds like and looks like. And I was thinking to myself, like, we need varying levels of that, right? Because like, I think like she is the business strategist for someone, and if what she's saying resonates with you, you need to gravitate to that, right? And I think that sometimes we look for, because we've just been conditioned to look for things in a certain way, sometimes we look for what people would call, like, somebody looks more like a banker, or somebody looks more like a whatever conditioning we've been under around who is supposedly an expert or not. Here you have somebody running 3 businesses with large square footage, with multiple businesses operating out of it, like the level of expertise she's operating at, you know, is definitely worth having a discovery call to see if it matches with you. Like if you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a space, if you're looking for somebody that, if you're looking for a community, you know, think about that, right? I think it is, she talks a lot about like look and feel, and I think it's really important for us to talk about like how look and feel could be different, how look and feel means different things. Yeah.
I think too, Omi, I think if we go into the world realizing that we have an opportunity to learn from every human being that we come in contact with, like it doesn't matter, you know, their station in life, you know, it does not matter, you know, where they came from or where they're going, or, you know, there's an opportunity for us to connect first as a human being, like, you know, from human to human, in the realization that most humans are looking for the same thing, right? Love and safety, you know what I mean? To be nourished, to be supported, to be able to follow their dreams. Like that's a beautiful thing. But also realizing that every interaction is an opportunity for you to learn from someone about anything, like where they are and what their experiences have been, you know, and what they've seen in the world. And I think if we open our minds up to the fact that, you know, every engagement is an opportunity to be better. Like every engagement with anybody is an opportunity to be better. And you walk away with that, then I think we will be in such a better place, because it's wild out here. But I love the fact that she's doing it, baby. 3 locations.
And that's the thing. Who's doing it that I can hear from? Who's doing it? You know what I mean? Not who's saying it, not who's showing pretty pictures, but like who's actually doing it. I think, you know, figuring that out and like in trying to learn. Another thing is I love practical application. I love like, because I think there's a lot of high level business talk. There's a lot of high level, you know, how you do this and how you do that. And then it's like, yeah, but like, what are we talking about though? What does that look like when I literally put rubber to the road? Like what is step 1, step 2, how I think that we're missing that in the business coaching landscape. I don't need to pay $10,000 for a great cheerleader, you know? I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm getting older, so my edges go faster than what they used to go. Listen, I want to keep these ones that
I'm just saying, I no longer feel like I need, like, and the reason why I say no longer is because first, all that stuff was real glitzy to me, real glamorous, real like, you know, buy my $9.97 course for the good value of $149, you know, like buy my $9.97 value for $149. Listen, when I do this smooth operator course, it's gonna cost $1,800. It's gonna be 8 weeks, and you come on, let's get this thing done. Like I'm not trying to. We could cheer each other on from afar. I could cheer you on your in Instagram. I could cheer you on under your comments. You do not need to pay me for me to cheer you on. And I think that a lot of the quote gurus out there, it's a lot of just pay me $10,000 to get into my group and then let me cheer you on as a group. That's not what I'm here for. Like, and don't get me wrong, there may be some people do need a $10,000 cheerleader. If you need that, go forth and be great. I am thinking though, the gap that needs to be filled, and which is why I was so glad to watch you go teach at Micah, right? Because I think like the professional landscape of even business education is either super cerebral, but no application, or so like what I want to say, like nuts and bolts on study, like super highly intellectual. And you have both. You know what I mean? Like you have this, yeah, you have the intellectual piece of it, but you also have the practical application. No tea, no shade to small business development centers because we need them. But some of them folks ain't never run a business, child. No tea, no shade to the SCORE mentors. But some of the folks ain't never had to get it how you live. Now they done ran businesses, but they never had to, if you don't move, you don't eat level run a business. And that's a different mindset. It's a different way of doing this thing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I also agree that what happens is we are trying to fit a circle and a square hole. You know what I mean? Like a square and a circle. Like there is room, right, for everybody to work in their area of genius. So everybody, like, for, our amazing, consultants who are great $10,000 cheerleaders, right? There is a group of people that need that. There's a group of people that need SCORE. There's a group of people who needs incubation, a group of people that needs acceleration, a group of people who needs, one-on-one coaching, a group of people that needs executive.
Yeah, it's a yes and.
Yes, it's like there is a group for everybody. I think it's about figuring out, as an individual, figuring out which place will I fit. And realizing that changes as you progress, right? So you may have started, I know I started with incubators and accelerators and that sort of thing. And that is not where my business is, where I am right now in my growth. In my growth right now, I'm looking like, do I need an executive coach? You know what I'm saying? Do I need where do I need to go now in my growth? Because like I've done that and it served me well when it was doing that. You know what I'm saying? However, now I'm in a different growth stage and I need a different thing. And I think part of it is the realization that it's okay that you have outgrown something, and it is okay that you may have to go back to something that you once. And I think that's another thing. Like we're like outgrowing, okay. Like it might be uncomfortable, but it's like the realization is sometimes you got to go back. You got to go back to square one. You got to go back to the incubator. You got to go back to the SCORE. You got to go back because you missed something. It's missing. And so you got to go back. So I think it's also about starting to take, and again, that's back to the Drake conversation and back to realizing and taking time to figure out, this is who I am. This is where I am. This is where I want to go. How do I get there? What do I need to do?
100%. And doing whatever that is for you, because at the end of the day, this is a very individual journey.
It is.
Like, yeah, we all out here, we could be in community together, all that. But this journey is very much an individual. It is a one-on-one with life. One to one, like you to your life. Right? Like that is very much what that is. And I think that like acknowledging that more and more means you let go of not wanting to go into different types of things. It's like get all the resources you got that's available for you. And you might be starting something new and therefore need to go back to. Right? You might need to run the same play. You might be like, oh, I'm gonna launch a new version of this product. I'm actually gonna go through the same rhythm I went through to build this other product.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. Like sometimes I know, Omi and I, we always giggle because I'm always writing down something. And I'm always, I have piles and piles of notebooks. When I started to struggle, one of the things that I did was go back to those notebooks. Like, what was I saying to myself then? Like, what was I doing then? How did I figure? Because sometimes we get in it and then we forget how we did it. Like, I love when people are like, start with why, that Simon Sinek book, start with why. And amazing, like a great read, great knowledge. Also go back to how. Like, how did you do it? What were you doing? What were the steps? How did you figure it out? How did you know to launch on social media? How did you get that TikTok shop going? How did you get your tribe to follow you? How did you get, and sometimes it's going back to the how that will be the most helpful, especially as you're trying to figure out this new season of your life.
No, that's right. I like that. That literally is it. Andrea, you here? We see you down there. I'm gonna give her a few minutes to come back on camera, so
You
we'll
know,
know
listen,
she's ready.
she trying not to be, because she was. Listen, my good girlfriend, I love her. Let me try to tell you something. One thing for certain, and two things for sure. I loves me somebody that's gonna get like, listen, say less. I'm gonna be on the road. I'm gonna go in the storage closet. I'm gonna take me a lunch break. I remember when I first started being a makeup artist and I was working, and I remember having to take lunch to take a client. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember scheduling a client at lunchtime because she lived down the street from where I was working, and I was able to run and go take my client and get back to work. That's a part of entrepreneurship too. Like, that's a part of really putting in the work, to make sure that this is something that you're going to do when it's not convenient, because entrepreneurship is not convenient at all. No parts of it has convenience written in it. Actually, it's one of the most inconveniencing things I've ever tried to do.
Inconvenience and rewarding, and
All the things.
all the
All the
things. It
things.
is all the
It's
things. It is
all
all the
the
things.
things.
I'm gonna bring up. Speaking of doing all the things, being all the things. We're gonna bring back Andrea Antoinette Davis, okay, for the title us about what she got going on. Andrea Antoinette Davis is a passionate, purpose-driven woman on a mission to inspire, uplift, and empower others through faith, fashion, and entrepreneurship. A professional plus-size model, gospel designer, stylist, and recently a children's book author. Okay, so I'm excited, okay, because when she first joined us, she was in the car, and we like, girl, please get to safety, okay. So we're gonna bring her up, coming to the stage. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you so
You
much for
made it.
having me. Yes, I did. Praise Jesus.
Where are you based?
So right now I'm in Houston, but originally from New York.
Okay, cool. So tell us, okay, listen now. Tell us about what you have going on and where you came here to talk about. Momentous fashion. I'm
Yes.
curious. Tell the people.
Yeah. So with Momentous Fashion, originally I started out as doing plus size modeling. And it just kind of started where people would always say, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Have you ever thought about doing modeling?" And I'm like, no, because I wasn't really a person that really cared about being seen too much. Um, and so it wasn't really my thing. And then I'm like, this lady at my church one day, she's like, "Hey, there's a casting call for the Avenue. I don't know if you ever heard of the Avenue, but it's another plus size clothing line. And so they were having a fashion show. So she's like, yeah, they doing a casting call. You should come and check it out or whatever. And I'm like, all right. So I went, and that was like my first time ever modeling, like ever. And when I tell you, like literally, my heart was in my mouth, like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm about to do. I'm just praying, like, Lord, help me take this fear away because this is crazy. And literally, as I said that prayer, walked out on the runway, it was like, wow, like everything literally left me. It was one of the most amazing feelings ever that I had experienced. And I'm like, wow, like everything else after that was just history. So that's how I started my plus size career with modeling. And I ended up doing a competition and came up third place in the competition as a full figure model, which was really a blessing. And from there, me being in the church, being like a Christian, just not really religious, but just having really a connection with God, and just having that as full figure model and just being in the industry as a plus size woman was very difficult, right? And what I mean by that is like everybody has to be naked. They want to be seen, in order to be seen. You have to be pretty much half naked just to get seen. And me being where I was in a position in church and, doing so much. I never wanted to be seen in that light. And I love me a little spicy now. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. I like being spicy, being, a little, something extra, but of course with class and respectable. And so with that, because I even went to like, I was doing some traveling for a little bit with other brands. And I even turned down opportunities that, I had invested my money in, and, they were like people from, like, like, like really high end, like in the fashion industry, working with those people. And I turned it down because I'm like, no, I'm not going to put my morals down, because I wanted to be on a runway. And I
How
had,
do you how do
turned,
you move through those moments, right? I want to ask this because you're really saying something right now in terms of like when a potential opportunity is up against your values. That's not
hmm
easy for people to move through, especially in these days where people are trying to get money, right?
hmm
Um, so what tell us a little bit about how you move through these moments of tension. Like what did you find? Did you get sad? Did you just like what you cut on some music and dance, and how like what do you do to move through these moments where you're like, here's this amazing opportunity with this amazing brand, but I just can't take this. It won't work
Yeah.
for me.
Right. Yeah. So, first and foremost, I was annoyed because, that was an investment that I invested in, right? That was my money. And then, like the people that were like in charge of this, like, oh, well, y'all models have to wear whatever we give y'all. Like, this ain't a choice or whatever. And I'm like, well, if they don't find something else or find a different, designer to fit me, then that's not going to happen. Y'all going to have to figure out something. You know what I mean? So I pretty much set my standard of what I was looking for and what I wanted versus, even though this was an opportunity, but I truly believe that every opportunity is not an opportunity, right? And, like I said, you have to know who you are, and your identity, what you stand for. And being put in that position, I wasn't going to allow that opportunity to um, put me in a position where I had to now like lower my standard or just go, if you fall for anything, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything, right? So with that being said, that was that moment where, I truly feel like it was a testing as well. God was truly testing me because I was put in a place with, like really big, people in the industry and um, like, hey, what would you really do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's when the test truly comes in to test your identity, who you are, who you say you are at the end of the day. And I
yeah,
was really glad that I made the choice that I've made. Um, because it really, and even though I'm, still working in that area, still working on my career and trying to develop that, but I truly believe when the right opportunity come, I would truly know what that is and what that looks like versus just jumping into anything and then maybe possibly regretting it later, So yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's really important for business owners to really take a moment to think about their morals, their values, their ethics, and how it will be tested in business. So I thank you so much for sharing that. I wonder, can you share with us what's going on with Momentous Fashion, good girlfriend? So now that we are here,
Yes.
now that you didn't transition, you didn't did the things.
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
going on in Momentous Fashion?
Yeah, so with Momentous Fashion, that's when I finally started learning how to sew, doing that whole thing, went to like fashion school, everything, and started creating my own brand, which is Momentous Fashion. And when, God put me in that place of like, what was the name going to be? God gave me Momentous, and momentous means change, bearing on its future, right? And that was where I was in a place where I wanted that change. I wanted to make a difference in the industry, in the fashion industry for plus size women, women just being women, women of, value, standard. And, I also was in the mental health field for a very long time. It was something that I was very passionate about. And I just wanted to give those women a space where they could be empowered, they could be loved, and, encourage them in what they wear. And, beauty is so much more. And that's what, allowed me to create Momentous Fashion. and just, you know, creating fashion in a way that is classy, respectable, but still a little spicy, of course. And and yeah, so I started that, and then I did my Momentous Fashion magazine as well, where entrepreneurs had the opportunity to be published in the magazine. It wasn't just overall just fashion, but it was like, you know, boxing. We had activists, we had chefs, event planners, just people doing things in the community. One of my fashion shows that I hosted was also in the magazine as well. And yeah, so it was just something that was a dream of mine. And, you know, I had the opportunity to, you know, by the grace of God, to make it happen. Yeah.
So that's awesome. So you said, so you have a fashion line
Mm-hmm.
and you have a magazine
Mm-hmm.
and you do fashion shows.
Yes. Yes.
Girl, you doing all the things. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Yeah.
working. Where you
And
at? Where you at right now?
I'm at work right now. Yes, I'm at work. So, you know, I work with children, and I
Okay.
also QMHP, which is a quality mental health professional, and pretty much teach and coach children to help with their like coping mechanism skills. Um, yeah.
So
So
you
just,
have
you
a
know,
lot of patience
yes,
and a
yes,
lot of insight into like what helps people psychologically move forward. And I think that's beautiful. And coupling that with fashion and size and all the things like that is just it feels like you're doing your purposeful work. We want to where do people follow you? We want to make sure you can get back to work, okay? Because we need you to
yeah,
do keep all the things. So what
yes.
so where can people find you? Where can they follow you and anything coming up?
Yeah, so they can follow me at Momentous Fashion on Instagram, Facebook, and I did have my website up, but I'm actually making some adjustments with that due to my transition. I'm now in Houston, so still transitioning from New York here, and just but that's where they can find me. They can find me at Momentous Fashion at Instagram or Facebook. Yeah,
Do you know Yasmin Arrington?
Yasmin. Mm-mm.
She is she's a plus size model and also a she's the executive of a nonprofit called Scholarships and it helps people children who formerly incarcerated parents or incarcerated parents. And she's a pastor. So absolutely look her up. And she Yasmin Arrington. Yeah, you can just Google
Okay.
it. But I think it'd be a good person for you to either be in contact with or to know. Because I think right at that intersection that you're talking about, fashion and
Mhm.
being a believer. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me let you
Okay.
get to this kid,
Yeah.
girl, because this kid is like,
Let
ma'am.
me
Like,
say,
yeah,
I'm
like
in the
confusing.
Right,
Can I be in there too?
and
Like,
like I want to be on the face. I want to show my
right.
face.
right. Like,
Yes.
hold
Right.
up, ma'am. But have a great rest of your day, Andrea. It was so good
Thank you
meeting
so
you.
much.
All
Yes. It was
right.
a pleasure meeting
Okay.
you
Have
as
a good rest of
well.
your
Have a
day.
great, thank
You
you.
too,
Bye.
Bye
beautiful.
bye.
Bye bye.
What a beautiful spirit.
That
You
is
know?
such a beautiful
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed it. And I think that's one of the day we're coming to the end of the today's show. Um, that's one of the beautiful things I find about doing this show is that, like I said, we throw it out there to everyone to sign up, and you just never know who you're gonna meet, who you're gonna see. And I just feel like in alignment with what's purposeful to platform people, right? It's like platforming people who have like really good hearts, really good efforts. They're working on business, and they're also trying to change their communities.
Yes, yes. It's beautiful to see and you never know what people are going to bring up. Like you never know what part of their heart or their spirit or their business they're going to share. And her sharing about values and standards and morals is such a huge conversation that must be had in business that oftentimes is like overlooked. Like we do our mission and vision statements, but it's kind of like, what's your morals and ethics statements? What's your value statements? And not just in we value this, but if somebody goes against said values, what is your response?
Mm.
And
What you gonna do about that?
Yes. Like, how do you?
And nowadays, like being able to, and listen, that's a whole nother show, girl. We only got like, you know what I'm saying? We only got like 20 minutes left, and like we could go into that because BGV has been funded by Target, and we had a Target deal connection before all the things.
Yeah.
And I've had to ask myself many times, like what would I do if somebody's like, oh, look at them, don't, because I number one was standing on, I have seen the work that they're doing, and I've been a part of the work that they're doing, and the work that we're doing is partly because of the money that they gave us, but they're not loud about the money that they gave us. Mm-hmm. And they haven't been loud about the money that they had given out, which may now in some ways been a misstep, but ultimately I was still gonna be rocking with them. You know what I mean? And I think that and even some of the things we fund events, I make sure I say, like, I want y'all to know this is funded by Target, because if y'all decide y'all don't want us to give you this money, I respect that. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I think there's other times we have sponsors, not necessarily the Target one, but in different ways. Well, that means you can't say certain things. You know what I mean? That means you gotta, that means that you got people that you're working with, you got alliances, you gotta be careful, and it's like, and nowadays that's the way things work. There's so much concentrated power in terms of where the funding is coming from, in terms of where like how you're trying to grow or move, that you gotta watch your mouth these days. You know what I mean? It's hard to say no to a thing, but you also you can't be morally bankrupt about it. You gotta have whatever your reasoning is. It can't just be like, oh, because I'm just go get the money. They giving the money, I'm gonna get the money. Like, nah, it ain't that. That's not it for me. At least for me. Yeah. For me, it's not that. I have to take into consideration, what am I saying by taking this money? I have to take into consideration, what am I saying by giving this money out? Because the money we giving it out, right? So it's like thinking about that. And it's a lot of weight, I'll be honest. Like trying to hold whether or not some Black folk gonna come up against me one day and be like, oh, look at it, they took money from Target. It stresses me out. And this is the first time I ever talked about this publicly. But it stresses me out because I'm like, y'all, I know the work that they were doing and have been doing for us, and the work that we're doing because they give us this money. And we're in our last year with them. But like, I'm going to push through this and do this work, right? No harm, no foul if you don't want to engage. At the same time, there's so many yes ands to all of this. Yeah. It's not an either or. It's sticky.
It is. It's a mess. It is a very complicated relationship that organizations like BGV, who go after capital to support community, right? So you're going after and you're out here sourcing, getting funding so that you can support founders, of color, women, all of that, but also even down to the minute level as a founder. And that's something that I share a lot with founders. A lot of times when you go into these relationships, because these are relationships, right? Even if it's a short relationship, a long relationship, when you go into these relationships with funders, you're going to at a point in time, right? So they had a past, and at this point in time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm basing it off of what I knew about them in the past, the work that they've been doing, and then now in 2019, right? This is a decision that I'm going to make. But also it's living with the ramifications of should that change, right? Because now we're affiliated. I've been in a relationship with you, right? So I've been in a relationship with you, and that happens down to the minute level. And so it's like you're constantly thinking about, like, okay, I know that they've been good in the past. I know that they're okay right now. I have no clue what they might do in the future. I'm hoping that they don't do anything wild that's gonna set it off, and then I have to now make a recompense or amends, or I gotta say something about something that I had nothing to do with. Like I think
nothing to do with. And
right.
what if everybody starts doing that?
Yeah.
So okay, DEI, whatever, and then now nobody can do it. So now it's like it's just again,
It's a wild.
it's levels to it.
Yes.
And now it's like, okay, well, but still, I don't like how they did it. And it's like, yeah, but like at this point, if I'm gonna keep going, what y'all want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna keep going, what am I? Who y'all?
It's just a lot of,
where could we be doing in our own support, right? So having said that, everybody go to www.blackgirlventures.org and donate today, okay? Because and make sure another thing, donate. Be out there voting, because all this commentary that everybody got going on, Voting Rights Act has been struck down. The people are redrawn the districts. Tennessee is just plumb redrawn all over the place. Make sure you are voting, okay? Make sure you are voting. Exercise, and this is where I'm like, exercise the power that you do have where you have it for what makes sense for you. And that's why I have to respect anybody that's like, oh, I'm not rocking with y'all because y'all got money from this place. You got to respect that, because at the end of the day, that's exercising the power that you have to be able to exercise, right? And I'm saying keep that same energy across the board. I want to see that. We got to be voting. We got to be voting, Lord. In this upcoming election, there's so much happening. We didn't get into the whole Preakness. I wanted, because I feel like it's right along the lines of what we're talking about. Industry, shifting communities, impacting. I remember, so Preakness the horse race was this past weekend. Yeah. I remember the first time I went to Preakness, I remember walking down the street. And I remember thinking like, so over here is this horse race. Okay. Yeah. And over here is all these people that live in Baltimore. Yeah. And seemingly way different, like what is happening? Now, over the course of the last few years, the Black woman that was been over entertainment, she actually has been doing a great job, I think. Get some kudos to her. I don't know all the politics, but I would say she's seemingly been doing like, this was when I went, this is around 2010, 11, somewhere in there, between 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. But latter years, I found it to get way more inclusive. I saw it get better. Like the year we sent y'all, I saw it get way more inclusive. Yeah. I saw it get a lot better. So I want to note improvements, because sometimes we can harp on, ain't nothing going right, don't nobody care about it. And it's like, nah, let's not do that. There's a lot there. And I wanted to hear what you're going to say about the impact of them moving in and the things that are happening.
Yeah, so right now, Pimlico Racetrack is under construction. So Preakness was not held at Pimlico Racetrack this year, which is in the Park Heights community of Baltimore City. It was actually held at Laurel Racetrack, which is I believe it's in Anne Arundel County. And so what traditionally was an opportunity for the Park Heights community to leverage Preakness to be able to, bring in additional revenue, like the smaller businesses. It was a lot of, hustle, that sort of thing that did not take place this year. And so that has been kind of like a point of contention, but it's been a lot of moving and shaking as with a lot of predominantly Black cities, throughout the country, as we invest in different ways, as we start to build and start to develop, right, in different areas, a lot of times it can lead to a lot of pushback from community, right? Because of the history of redlining in Baltimore, the history of segregation in Baltimore, and it's really steeped here in Baltimore, especially considering that the history of redlining, we were the infrastructure, we were the prototype of what redlining was, and it spread out from Baltimore. And so a lot of what you see at Preakness is that divide, right? So what you were talking about was Northern Parkway. On one side, it is disinvested. The other side, it's totally invested. And you see the divide, and it's one of those physical, visual representations of, oh my goodness, like this is happening. Like it is really happening. And so they have made great strides with Preakness. They call it Afro Preak. And so Afro Preak is a part of Preakness now. It has been for many, many years moving forward. And it was still a beautiful time. You see a lot more of Black representation when it comes to the races and racing and, the participation in racing and, that sort of thing. So it's really good to see. It is a hard hit to the city that Pimlico is now under construction. And we're hopeful that it will bring Preakness back, because there is no guarantee that Preakness will come back, right, to Pimlico once they do the revitalization of it. So that's something to think about as well. But the city is, and this is my opinion, other people may have others, I think the city is trying their best. I think that we're doing a great job at least trying things, right? And a lot of times we don't give people credit for trying. Like sometimes you just have to start trying stuff. Like we know that this didn't work, so let's start trying some other things. So we can get into it later, but
and honestly, Pimlico needed some construction for real.
It absolutely needed.
They needed it, but I hope that they do bring it back, because it is such an important. It's a huge race, and it's world known, right? And it's so important that that exists in Baltimore, I think, right?
It does.
It's like the way like South by Southwest is a huge mark of revenue for Austin, right? It's like these big cornerstone events, they need to be in existence for small business. Sometimes people can, at events like that, sometimes that's the only time they work, and they make money for like the last half of the year, and they chilling. You know what I mean? It's like that. And I do remember like people were like paying to use the bathroom, people were cooking food, people were like, all that. So it's so much.
It's a cultural thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great way to bring in revenue, not only for the city, but for small businesses. It's a great way for a community to get some investment that sometimes they are not otherwise given. And it's an absolute great way for us to, and I'll throw my head for people of color to show up beautifully in all you know what I'm just out here, just
dressed to the nines.
It's a situation. Like I'm like, what?
I still got the hat that you got for me to go.
Listen,
my daughter got sick. I couldn't go that year. But I still got the hat.
Yes, but
I wore it to the. I actually wore that headpiece when I went to. I was honored by USBC.
Listen,
one of the honorees I wore.
Fabulous.
Stole the show. Okay.
It's a situation.
All right. So we got to get ready to get up out of here, y'all. This is day 1 of the 30-day show. We're going to be here for the next 30 days. On weekdays, we will be here every morning. It's 6 to 9:30 a.m. my time. It's 9 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, which makes, I think, what, 8 to? I don't know. Central Time, I ain't got it. But a couple things about BGV upcoming. May 30th, we'll be in Chicago. So RSVP will be there for pull up and pitch. And it's just what it sounds like. Pull up, shoot your shot. You get 1 thumbs up from a judge. You get $200. You get 2 thumbs up. You get $250. You get 3 thumbs up. You get $500. And you get to go to the next round to pitch to win up to $10,000. So make sure y'all come check that out. Also on June 18th, we're going to have a TikTok telethon. Speaking of donations, we call it $19 on the 19th. The campaign we're running for everybody to bring in donations for BGV, for us to keep the good work going that we got going on. So make sure you go to BGV events to go ahead and RSVP to get all the pieces. Also, we haven't dropped a date for you to register yet. Low key, you can register now. But at the Futures We Build Summit, futureswebuildsummit.com. That's futures. So it's FUTURES, webuildsummit.com. The tickets are live for our upcoming summit, and we want to keep the room intimate. So I would say, if you listen to this and you watching this, I would say go ahead to get your ticket. It's gonna be a good time. We're having a full day summit. The next day we're gonna have a full day of wellness. So we're bringing wellness to our business, because I feel like that's what we got to do. And then we'll have pull up and pitch in DC on September the 12th. All right. So September the 10th through the 12th is going down. We'll be at the Westin downtown. So it's gonna be a good time.
Yes, it is.
I will have more on that in the more days to come. We'll be right back here in the morning. So you got anything you want to say?
Nope, I'm just shenanigans. Nope, same shenanigans. I'll see them tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow. If you wait a minute. If you missed any of today, go to YouTube, go to Black Girl Ventures or at the Omi Show, and you can look in the live section. You look in the live section, you can look at the live, the whole live. Don't miss it. All right, y'all come back here tomorrow now. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be good for the rest of the day. We can't do nothing about whatever else you do for the rest of the day. But thank y'all so much for being here with us. We appreciate you. All right, we will see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.